and good morning once again. I would like to speak about God's rod and God's discipline. How many a time we have asked God, why, why have you allowed this to happen or to take place in my life? Our lives can go on quite peacefully for years, when suddenly one of life's tornadoes will slay us with devastating fury. It may be a death in the family, a divorce, an accident, a close friend moving away, a troublesome marital relationship, monetary problems, or a number of other things. Shattering changes can create insecurity and leave us vulnerable. God's discipline in our lives can be unpleasant, painful, unbearable, and uncomfortable at times. When we read in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, 1 to 12, God disciplined his sons. In verse 5, we will read, "And you have forgotten that word of encouragement that addresses you as sons. My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines those he loves and punishes everyone he accepts as a son." Again in Proverbs 13, verses 24. "He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him." In Proverbs 29, verses 15, "The rod of correction imparts wisdom, but a child left to himself disgraces his mother." Proverbs got a lot of good advice. And in Proverbs 22, verses 15, "Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far from him." In Proverbs 20, verses 27 to 30, "The Lamb of the Lord searches the spirit of man. It searches out his innermost being." In verse 30, "Blows and wounds cleanse away evil, and beatings purge the innermost being." Hebrews 12, verses 7, "Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons. For what son is not disciplined by his father?" In verse 8, "If you are not disciplined, and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are illegitimate children and not true sons." In verse 10, "Our Father disciplined us for a while, as they thought best, but God's disciplined us for our good, that we may share in his holiness." In verse 11, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, It provides a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Perhaps many of us are facing that kind of discipline in our lives right now. Perhaps you might face life's tornadoes in your life. Know the promise of God. I will never leave you nor forsake you, but I will be with you always. In Isaiah 54 verses 10. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace will be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. I put a little tune to Isaiah 54 verses 10, and I will sing this for you this morning, and I hope that you get blessed through this. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. Nor my covenant of peace will be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. Remember, God's discipline seems not pleasant at the time, but painful. Later, however, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Don't despair and don't quit. Don't give up when you will go through God's discipline. This is for our own best, and we will produce a harvest of righteousness and peace, and it will strengthen and build our characters. God is in control of our lives today. It doesn't matter what you might be facing right now. God has given us a promise. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace will be removed, says the Lord, who has compassion on you. God has compassion on you. He will give you peace in your difficult trial situations. When the tornadoes of life will overwhelm you, God has promised, I will never leave you nor forsake you, but I will be with you throughout eternity. May God bless you, and may you experience today the blessings of the Lord maketh rich and added no sorrows. Amen.